What's up, guys? This is Z from Z's World. I'm back, and as promised, I have the Hardbody installed and I have the light kit installed. I purchased from RC4WD the light kit for the Blazer Hardbody set. The next time you'll see this, it'll be hooked up to the body everywhere where it was supposed to be, and I'll show you with the body off the chassis. Just to give you a run-in, or a run-over of what I've done so far. I'll pop the hood really quick. You can see how the wiring went for the light kit. I also unclipped the body, and I'll be taking this off really quick to show you how I put it together inside. Here's the front bumper from Yeah Racing that I installed, and I'll spin it around to the back. This is just temporary. I just put a 3-cell LiPo in here just so I could power it up and show you how the lights work. I ended up grinding the bed down and taking the cap off like I said you could, and we used a bit or a unibit after we wrote with a marker a template of what we had to get rid of to allow the shock braces to come through. Not what you necessarily would want to do, but given the fact that this is a TRX4 and it's not meant to have the RC4 4WD body on it, that's what we had to do. I also had to, after I had gotten the body on, I had a bigger set of Proline Hyraxes on here with Predator compound. What I had to do is I bought another set of 1.9 wheels, but I bought the 4.19 diameter tire as opposed to the 4.79, I believe, or the 4.75 diameter tire that was on there before. So this way, now I have, I only had to trim so much with, I ended up using a Dremel, trimming some of the body down, and I might have to actually do more to see when the body rolls if it's gonna hit, but you can see the suspension, it's gonna go up in there, and I might have to do a few more adjustments with the length of these arms to really pull the wheelbase together, so this way it'll be more centered, but the truck will still drive this way. There's all minor tweaks that you can do to make it better, but what I'll do right now is I'll turn it on and I'll show you the light kit, and here it is. So you have all your headlights, your marker lights and blinkers, and then when you rotate it around, you got your taillights. Now this was actually not very hard to install, but it definitely was a pain in the butt, and now I'll show you. Let me turn it off, and now I'll show you with the body removed, and I'll show you how I mount this. It's really nice. So I used the chrome bumper for the back, and I used the Yeah Racing bumper up front. There was tabs that came down that would allow you to mount the chrome bumper, but if I didn't want it, I clipped them, which I'll show you now. Let me just take it off. And I have to unplug the light kit. Hold on one second. Okay. So now, as you can see, let's just focus on the chassis. Which some things I wish I didn't do, but this is a learning process for me. I cut the fender liners off of the rear strut braces because this is not a Land Rover Defender. The Defender body that comes with this TRX4 would have the fenders attached to the body. This particular Blazer does not. The fenders come attached to the chassis. So what I did was I Dremeled all that off, and then I didn't like it, and then it turned out I had 2 extra shock towers that I was able to just mount directly on. And if you can see here, I just zip tied it temporarily for now. I'm gonna nut and bolt them because there's only one bolt going through here. This just holds it for now, so I can just make sure I like the way the truck drove. And in the front, I wish I didn't cut these. So I would recommend not necessarily cutting these if you're gonna install this on your own TRX4 Blazer chassis, because I believe they could have stayed and would give you some protection from mud or from water. But like I said, it's a learning process. You can buy these fenders brand new for cheap. Sometimes the track bar support brakes. I found that out the hard way when I fell down a hill, and it snapped that link right off of this, and you had to buy a set of them anyway. So that happens. So that's your chassis, and the lighting kit comes from also RC4WD. It comes with a little extender wiring that's inside the receiver box, and then allows you to connect it to here, which is right here. Now this is just a mock-up. It's not perfect because I'm just deciding of where I'm going to mount the wiring permanently. So I just kept it nice and neat, and as you can see, all these chrome fittings or light cups have bolts to them, so you have to feed the light in there and then bolt it all the way around. Same thing with the back. Now this is the tricky part. The back is really hard because even with the bed open or closed, it's next to impossible to get those in there. Very, very very, very hard because they're bolted with Phillips heads on the outside. 4 of them. So you got to fight to get this back together. This is, you can see we mocked it up, and this is where we cut, or I should say I cut. And I put this piece of foam that I had found from work so that this way the bed doesn't rattle up against this brace on the chassis here. So this way it's very, very quiet. And I did remove the men, or the figures, or the not the men, the seats for now, because they would be mounted here, and then you wouldn't be able to see the electronics. I haven't decided what I want to do with that yet, if I want to leave that off or on. All minor little tweaks that you can figure out as the time goes on. But for right now, I wanted to just show you how the body mounts up. So now if you look back here, these 2 holes can also attach to this chrome bumper. So what I do is when I put the body on, I put a bolt here and a bolt here. It holds it from the back. And then up front, I get this to tuck this battery tray, because this is where I'm going to be using the smaller drone 4-cell batteries. I'm actually charging one right now, so I can't show it to you, but it would fit right on this tray. So then all your weight's in the front, there's going to be no battery in the middle, because I removed the battery tray. And at one point I was thinking about maybe moving the electronics out of the way, and even maybe getting rid of the front and rear locking differentials, just making it a full-time 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive system, which a lot of people like to do, and makes it have less weight. So then once I put the body on, I won't go too crazy with it now. If I show you right here, you take a drill bit and you drill a certain size hole. I forgot what the size hole is. Not much bigger than what the hole already exists. And you can eventually put a bolt, because if you look, I'll show this to you. If you look, there's holes here where you would mount the body. Right now, I just put a zip tie through this and through here, just to mock it up to make sure I know it's going to fit right. In time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a brace or an L bracket. I believe it would go this way and maybe up or down. I have to look, probably up a little bit, yeah. And then you could just put a bolt right through there and bolt it right here, right to it. And or if you flip it this way, the holes match up with the receiver box a little bit. So let's just put it on there for a second. There you go. So now you look, if this holds it in place here so it doesn't go back and forth. And now what I plan on doing is getting like 10th scale. You can get a jack, 10th scale. You can get like bags and like 10th stuff. And then you could just tie it down. You'll never even see this. Or I would even paint it Chevy orange and it would just blend in. Not the neatest job, but at the same token, for functionality, it's going to be perfect. You know, I didn't want to sacrifice the suspension geometry by trying to move everything out of the way. You know, like one of my batteries just finished now. This actually goes on a trail finder from RC4WD Drive, so that's why that would be it would directly fit. So now all I do is I put a zip tie through there, a zip tie through there, and then if I show you, if I lift this up, that's where these 3 pieces were that I cut off. Here, here, and here. But the cool thing is, you could still shove the chrome bumper that's supplied to you through these slides here. And the chrome bumper would mount right up if you wanted to keep that look. But I wanted this to be up and high and out of the way. And that's pretty much it. And one more quick thing that I noticed on this chassis, and I want to see, I don't know if maybe other people probably definitely already noticed, this arm to the track bar is usually flipped this way. And what will happen is, when the suspension articulates, it comes up and it hits the differential. This arm is flipped the other way. It hits the differential and it actually stops your shock travel. So all I did was turn it around, just gave it a quarter turn around or a half turn around and just flipped it so that the elbow was on the top. So now it never hits and the shock bottoms out on both sides. So now I don't know if that'll totally help or not, but it's definitely something I think would be a beneficial thing. So the only way to tell is that you get it back out on the trails and you see. So that's pretty much it for today's episode. I just wanted to get you guys up to date with the last video I made. And it turns out this truck looks way better as a pickup, in my personal opinion. You know, people are telling me that, oh, you can't, you gotta leave the top on, because you can just bolt the top right back onto this. And I said, nah, I wanna leave it like a pickup truck, because I just think it looks a little bit better. But now at least it has these Hyrax tires on it, which are a class 1, so it can be used in the competitions. Not to say that I've gone to a competition yet, but now at least it's worthy and it's not cheating, because opposed to having this exact same setup with this size tire. which I have it right here. I can tell you right now, this is a 4.73 by 1.76, and this is a 1.4 by 4.19. So that's your difference in the size. The rim is the same, 1.9, but the tire is different. But now this will be allowed in competition as opposed to having this tire on it, if you can see the difference in size. All right, so stay tuned next time. I'm gonna probably shoot a video tomorrow if I can get a chance to get out there on the trails, and we'll see how this performs. If it performs well, you'll be hearing from me. Hopefully we'll see what happens. A little bit less top heavy, I don't know. It could be a little bit more heavy with the body, but nothing's as bad as having Lexan on your truck. I think you gotta make the hard body upgrade. Having Lexan is just annoying and noisy. But if you like what you've seen, guys, like and subscribe, and you'll be hearing from me soon. Take care.